Hello everyone, Alex Winkler here with a new video lesson. This is going to actually be the first weekly video lesson, or a trade review, I should call it. We're going to go over some of the best trades, we're going to go over the biggest lessons, so basically things that didn't work so well, and what's to come. So in the following week. There's also some pretty cool new stuff here at crypto.enslow, and I think you'll really like it, so we'll review some of that first. So let's dive right in. Start with some housekeeping. So as I said, this is a weekly review. I'm not going to be doing the monthly reviews because it's just too much time. I already threw out a different video lesson a few days ago because there was some cool stuff that happened intra-week, and I just kind of wanted to review it before I kind of forgot some of the bigger takeaways. And that's why I'm taking down these monthly videos. Or actually I haven't started those yet, but that was kind of the plan at the end of the month. But I was thinking, well, I'd rather just do a weekly review because there's so much going on by the end of the month. I'm not even gonna know what to talk about anymore. So I think a weekly recap is beneficial for everyone. So that was the first thing. The second thing is tradejournal.co is actually our new site that we'll be using for the documentation. It's all the same stuff. It's more or less a landing page for the Google Sheet. So you can actually go there by either going to tradejournal.co or just clicking here in the nav bar, and you can see. That's actually not true. This goes somewhere else, and I want to show you that, guys, this in a little bit. This is actually the tradejournal.co chart. This is my trading chart. What I wanted to show you guys is tradejournal.co. This is going to be a new site where you guys can quickly download the sheet, and we'll talk a lot about it in day 2 of the lessons. Cool. I'll review that a bit more later, or not on this video lesson, but another video lesson. So that's the second thing. And the third thing is the new goal. The new goal of $1,000 per week is pretty exciting because right now it was kind of, how much can we make? It was just kind of general. It was really focused on the trades, and it still is. But now we kind of have a mission. So let's see if we can get $1,000 a week, which I'm pretty sure we can. It's not too much, but we are using a smaller account size. Like I said, I think we're around 20,000, a little less, more like 15,000. I should know this, but I'm actually trading with 2 funds, so it's a bit confusing sometimes. So yeah, one fund is around 10,000. That's our crypto fund, and the other one is personal. So yeah, I think that's everything. But kind of to give you guys an idea how that's going to look like. So this was our week. All these trades are documented here, and our week total was 1.15 thousand. So this is pretty awesome because I announced this new 1,000 goal a few days ago. So it was sometime during this week. So this was actually our first week hitting that. Also the first week we have the goal, but first week we've actually been over 1,000. You'll probably notice me kind of freaking out all the last video lessons because last month was probably my worst trading month ever. I was just extremely sloppy. I was over trading. I was traveling. There's 1,000 things going on with the company. I wasn't really focused. I was renovating, so for me it was kind of mentally stressful. And then I feel like that kind of went over into my trading a little bit. But everything's documented, so I still learned a lot, and that's the most important part. Is there anything left to review here? Not sure. We could always go back to it. There's another cool thing. If you go, so this is actually what I wanted to click on. So now if you click on this, you can actually view the chart. And in this chart, you'll see the whole sloppy last month. And then you'll see this first week where I actually started documenting everything properly. Actually, I started documenting everything properly in mid-June. But finally everything's kind of come together where I could really focus on the documentation, I could focus on the teaching, I could really focus on my trading, not so much building everything, putting it all together. So this is pretty exciting. So anyway, so this was the nonsense that was going on basically for the last 3 weeks. Finally, this was our first really nice week where things kind of came together. So everyone's going to be able to see this. This is always going to be right here, so it gets updated every 5 minutes. So every time I make a trade and it gets documented and reviewed, it will also be uploaded here, and you can kind of see the effects we're adding. So ideally next week we should be right around a little over the $2,000 limit mark with this green line, because this green line is the sum of the day trading and the investments. Cool. I think that's everything for now. We can always go back. So some of my sorry guys, I keep looking over here at at the trading view, and Litecoin just fell off a cliff, which is pretty exciting. I posted a trader watch list today, and this is kind of exactly what I wrote about. I was waiting for this one to go down, so I'm not sure if well, I'm definitely not going to take a trade, but potentially before this video lesson is over, there might be some interesting entries, but I don't think we'll have to worry about that. Most likely it'll be back on the way up. So this week, even though it was my most profitable week of the month, not saying a lot, it was 1,000, but still can't complain. It was overall really sloppy. I even made a video lesson about this. I'll talk, actually it's right here. How can I have made 3 times more trading recap? So this really goes to show that a lot of the trades I've been making are just kind of small profits, but the entries and exits, usually the exits are pretty good, but the entries are a bit sloppy. So this video lesson goes and explains a lot of that. But yeah, overall this week and the weeks before that, I was just I kind of over trading. You know, I felt like, okay, I have this course now, I have to really be a little bit more active. So then I started over trading in a way. I was taking trades that I definitely should have not been doing because they weren't my perfect setups. If I had to review trade, I really like my investment trade number 7 with Neo. My entry was late because I did get in it before, but then I sold the position. I got into this one originally right around here, and then I sold it on this bounce for a little loss because we're in a bear market and I'm extremely cautious right now. But then when I saw the price action, I bought it again here on the first dip and then sold right here on the next spike up. I was really hoping for another one, but it never happened, so I got out. The price action was not looking good. There's loads of sellers. The momentum was kind of dying. We've already had this kind of first top and a nice bounce upwards. So I felt like a lot of the momentum was gone, and that's why we got rid of this position. All that's reviewed here, but I was pretty happy about this trade because it did kind of go exactly as planned, and I kind of just stuck to my rules, and I was very rational, and it went pretty nice, even though I missed the perfect entry. The next trade I think was pretty cool was this one. Oh, this is a very similar setup, but this was a day trade with ZRX, and this was almost the same chart pattern here. It's crazy. A nice run up, as most maybe investors or people might think, like, why would you buy here? It already ran up so much. But this was a 45-minute chart, but even if you go further out into like the 4-hour chart, you'd see a super nice few Greek candles and then kind of it flagging out. That's a very good bull flag pattern. So we bought here near the bottoms, broke out perfectly. I could have sold higher, got a better position, but this was on Bitfinex, and this is a pretty small coin, so it's a little spotty. The worst thing you want to do is when this thing doesn't break out and then it crashes heavy, it's kind of hard to get out. So I got out a bit too early, but overall I can't complain with this one. Let me see, I think it was, yeah, almost 10% gain. And another reason I like this trade actually is because, as you can see here, I only bought 1,500. Sounds like a lot, but it's really not, because it was 1,500 times look at this, 1,500 calorie diet. It was times, where is it? Oh yeah, 1.2 entry. This is under $2,000. This trade was only with $1,800, so it's tiny, tiny position size. And that kind of what makes me excited is because a lot of people are thinking, oh, I only have a few $100s. I only have 1,000. Blah blah blah. I can't invest like this. It would never make returns for me. But that's not true. You don't need a lot of money with these trades. It's only with a few trades that I use a bit more, and like Litecoin, for example, I'll often get in with like $8,000 per trade and still not make that much because it's between $80 and $90 this week. So it needs to really run to actually make some money. But a lot of these smaller ones are perfect. And I'm day trading these and putting them in the investor watch list. So much to talk about. I gotta hurry up here. This Litecoin is moving. I gotta follow it. Look at that little bounce. A lot of good stuff. Another one. Let me see what I wrote down here. Oh yeah, this one, Litecoin. So this was actually last week was the week of breakouts. It was crazy. There's just like boom, boom, over and over again, so many breakouts. It was really exciting. And this was me trying to average in before the breakout. The price pattern was pretty nice. It was breakout, consolidation, and this was in the consolidation. And I think with most traders, they're all looking for a second breakout, potentially even a third. It was really crazy. What I did was I bought already right here, and then the price collapsed. Now you got to remember we ran up extremely high last week, so you don't want to hold randomly, and because once these things tank, they can tank hard. So I got out, not at the best spot, but this trade in general was a bit stressful because this happens to me all the time, where I get in and then I kind of get out, and then the next trade I do, which is the one we're reviewing, is perfect. But I'm a bit more. Hold on, sorry, my messenger is blowing up. So, but I get out. Oh, now I'm all confused. Okay, so my next trade is even more better setup. The price action is finally going upwards instead of going downwards. This is something I talk about a lot. You don't want to kind of be buying something on the way down. So it kind of messes up my second trade. One bad trade will mess up my second trade. And not ideally that it goes completely wrong. It just I go way too safe on it. So this trade would have actually been a better entry here, and I definitely well, the chances are higher that I would have done it if this trade didn't exist. And then this breakout happens, and since I'm already kind of on edge because of what happened here, I sold half of my position here, and then no, that's not true. I sold something like that. You could review this trade, it's all here. Anyway, I sold most of my position here and then a second part here. So the average was kind of right here instead of, if this never happened, most likely I would have been way more aggressive and held longer. So that's something here that, yes, this was maybe one of my bigger gainers, but really what I learned here is kind of my style. And kind of my personality when it comes to trading. And this is one of those things that happens multiple times where a bad trade will mess my next trade up. I know two trading mentors, and they teach several different strategies. And all the strategies are good, right? They all work, but some people trade them much better than others because, like for example, buying breakouts. I suck at buying breakouts, so I average in usually before a breakout. But some people have a hard time with that because it's a bit more of a waiting game. There's a lot of fake outs, so it's a bit dangerous. For me, especially being a maker or taker, it kind of is a bit more, I don't know, my style. And I'm much more profitable averaging before a breakout than buying a breakout, even though buying the breakout is definitely the textbook and kind of the taught way. So it's good to be aware of all these different trading strategies, but then eventually you have to kind of figure out what works for you, what's your bread and butter. So that's what day trade 77 taught me more than anything. All right, and moving on. Sorry guys, this is a lot to cover. I'm trying to go really fast. Also the markets are kind of exciting right now, but it's really important to kind of recap the week and get all the information out there. So the biggest lesson again was kind of don't overtrade. Like in this day trade 77, you saw that the trade before that messed. So trade 76 messed trade 77 up because I was trying to force a trade. This is gonna break out. Let me get in now. Boom! It didn't break out. It broke down. I got out. It was choppy. You don't want that to happen. So yeah, don't over force a trade if a trade's not there. My least favorite trade this week, which really kind of hones this lesson in, was trade 80. This was a pretty small loss. That's not why I don't like it. Or if anything, that's a good thing. But why I don't like this trade is because it was super uncalled for. So the price was somewhere over here, and then it was going down. And this support line was what it broke out earlier. So I figured, oh, well, there's going to be a nice support line bounce, which usually is true, but if the price is breaking out already. So if the momentum was basically coming from here, it broke out, so price goes up, breaks out, comes down, support line bounce, keeps going up. That's usually the case. What I did this time is the exact opposite. I bought here, there was a small bounce, but then it came down. I quickly sold my position because these things can run quickly. This was not the quickest rundown, so I could have got out safer. But there's oftentimes a quick bounce, and then so I got out pretty quick, which was overall a good idea. But the reason I don't like this trade is because it was just super uncalled for. I should have never purchased here to begin with. But that was me just kind of, waiting around all day, not much, missing this little kind of fake out, breakout, and then just kind of looking around. So if you see me doing that in the chat room, just yell at me, be like, Alex, you're over trading. This is clearly a bad trade. You don't review this in day 2 or 3 or 4. What are you doing? So yeah, that's probably my biggest takeaway then this week would be just, don't overtrade. Do what works for you. Let me see what else we got here. Yeah, I forced a support line bounce. Same styles as investment trade. Oh man, yeah. So this trade wasn't reviewed. This is actually from a different week, but this is why my portfolio was so choppy last week, because my mind wasn't clear and I was forcing trades like this all the time. And this was one of my biggest losers actually as well. Check this out, 20% loss. Everything about this was horrible. I didn't cut my losses quickly. I bought just like the last trade I reviewed, I bought a breakout bounce or a bounce on a support line, but when the momentum was going down already. So basically I bought here, I was hoping for a little bounce off this one. There's actually a longer support line here. It didn't go through. It bounced pretty nicely. You don't really see that, but this candle was a nice solid green candle for a while. So I finally just got out. I was like, wow, this is horrible. And I actually got out at the worst time. So what I should have done is stuck to my rules. I should have cut my losses quickly. Even if it was right here, I would have not just saved money. I probably would have been at like 5% loss. But also I would have freed up capital. I mean, this is multiple days of capital being tied up where you're missing other trades, right? So you don't want that to happen. You always want to cut your losses quickly. So this is one of those trades, clearly over trading, and then on top of that, not sticking to my rules. So a loss like this it made a profitable week. I think it put me under by like 30 bucks or something. But yeah, so those are my 2 lessons, or my biggest lesson is just don't overtrade. And then I guess you can say also know what works for you, know your personality. And third lesson, well, always number 1, cut your losses quickly. So that's always top of the list. So what's next? Wait, oh yeah. To kind of go along with this is something you hear a lot of veteran traders say is the best trade is the one you didn't make. So basically, if I never made these trades, those days would have probably been profitable, or that week would have been profitable, so on. So sometimes you just have to relax, be like, okay, there's no opportunities. I'm gonna finish up, that video lesson or get some work done or blah blah blah. So you don't have to be trading all the time, which is nice. But when you feel like you are, then it feels kind of weird that you're not, and then you get stuck in these weird positions. So what's next? Continue looking for the best setups. We're still in a bull market, so be careful what's out there, especially the long positions. That's why a lot of my long positions are pure swing trades. I actually got out of Neo today. Here, this was Neo. I bought this yesterday and I sold it today. So that was about 24 hours for this swing trade. It was up a lot more, but the price action was not holding. This is all documented, but I'll give you guys a little glimpse. I bought right here. This is only documented in the hours. You have to go to the hour chart. So I bought it right around here, 33.05. Nice run up. Then it was consolidating. I thought it was going to be a nice little flag and break out again. Didn't sell. And then I sold into this little rubbish. Actually, look at this. It looks like it might break out. Anyway, didn't want to hold it. Bear market, freaky. We'll wait till we turn around to hold these positions a bit longer. Where was I? And I think that's everything for now. Oh yeah, check the investor watch list when I will be posting. Well, of course, I mean, you guys know this. Everything is always in the watch list beforehand, and then it gets posted in the chat room when I make trades, and then afterwards in the reviews. So yeah, that's everything for now. I hope it wasn't too long. I really try to squeeze it in together. If you found this stuff helpful, if you're new, subscribe. Definitely, please give a like. Yeah, have fun in the markets, and that's everything for now. Bye bye, guys.